Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining back. In today's video, we'll see the SharePoint landscape. So let's get started into that. At the top, we see this is the header. We have the most important feature over here is the search the site option. We should be able to search everything underneath this site collection or this site. Then we have the settings icon. So these are the two most important things which are actually being highly used from this segment. So search this site and the settings icon, right? If you click over here, we'll come to that later. So let's move on to this header of the page. This is where we have the logo of this entire site. Then we have the site name, which you decide when you provision a particular site. Then we have the navigation. You can customize this. You can remove links. You can add links. You can play around with this. This can be pretty complex. So you can do many things with this navigation bar. Then we have these two really cool features, functionalities. If you have to follow a particular site, you can follow that site. Then we have, if you have to share that site with your end users or any other colleague, then you can share that site. The reason why we have follow over here, per my experience, I see if you have thousands of sites in your org, then it really becomes tough to search for a particular site. Then you can directly follow a site, visit that site under your followed list. Then we have, if we look at the left, so this is where we have the global navigation bar. It becomes really handy if you have to navigate to the root SharePoint site. Then we have a couple of sites. You can look into what all sites you're following. Then you can see the news under your org files, a couple of things, and you can add more links over here. So let's see. So everything below this segment header, it actually falls under a page. So this everything below the header, that's a page. The functionalities which you see over here, these links, these are actually the links, or I would say these are the functionalities just for this page. So you can see the page details from here. Then if let's say you see, you can see all these details over here. That's fine. If you have to see the analytics of a particular page, then you can click onto analytics. Then you can see this page analytics over here. If you have to edit a page for more customizations, then you can do it from here. So yeah, this is the functionalities for a particular page. Then we have this as the page. This may vary from page to page, how the layout is for a particular page. So we see we have this hero web part over here. This is the news web part. This is the events web part. So when I say web part, that means functionality which comes out of the box. We just have to add that functionality, but it's not necessary that you have to stick with out of the box functionalities. You can create your own web parts using SPFX. That requires custom development, so you can do that. So yeah, that's the page which we have, which you'll see in any SharePoint site, any modern experience communication SharePoint site. If you navigate the Teams site, then the only difference which I would say is the navigation bar which you see at the top over here, it will come on the left side. So let's move on to the second most important thing is settings. Let's click onto this. So this is these are a few really important links. If you're a site administrator or a site owner, then you need to be really aware about all these things. So we'll come to each of these later, but if you have to play around with the permissions of a particular site, then you can click onto this link. If you have to play around with the contents, if let's say you uploaded a particular document, then where is that document being saved? So, or anything and everything under this site where that particular artifact is being saved. So you can access everything under site contents. So let's go on to site contents and see what do we have. So you see we have the header which remains the same. Then we have everything below this. This is actually a page. This is, you see, view list, ASPX. This is a page. It's the same concept, but this is site contents, which is only accessible to site owners or people with who has the site administrator rights. But yeah, you can change the site permissions. You can change the permission levels, so you can make sure even contributors have the access to this page. So there's a lot which can be done. There are a couple of things which are going around over here. If you, let's say, if I upload a particular document, then you should be able to see those documents under document libraries. There is a list which is similar to an Excel file with more features. Then we have events, which is a calendar. Then we have site pages. We just have one site page currently, which is the homepage, which we just now saw. But in the further videos, we'll create document libraries. We'll see SharePoint list. We'll see events list. We'll see page libraries. We'll look into all these types in much detail. Then we have this option as a subsite. So you see, we currently have a subsite, but this is not the recommended way. So there is, I already have a video which is flat versus hierarchical SharePoint structure. So I'll drop a link on that. Maybe you can see why this is not the recommended way by Microsoft itself. So yeah, you can look into that. So that's about the site content. Then we have this recycle bin. This is really helpful when, let's say, you have somebody deleted the documents, right? So you can recover those documents from here. So that's a good thing. I'll go ahead and move myself from here to here, right? So you can recover it from here. If, let's say, you do not see the document over here, then there is a possible chance that somebody deleted it from here, but you can find that from second stage recycle bin. So you can go to second stage recycle bin and find that. Let's go back to our site contents quickly. So I'll go back to my site contents and see if anything which we need to discuss under site contents. I don't think so. So let's quickly go to site settings. Right, here it is, site settings. We'll click onto that. As a site administrator, this is the most important page. So you can play around with permissions from all these four links, right? You can create groups, you can do many things over here. You can play around with the look and feel of the entire site. You can see site administrator settings, site collection administrator, administration. So there's a lot more which is over here, or I won't go into details of each one of these, but the most important thing which I'd like to highlight over here is site permissions, because that's the most important and that's the heavily used thing. So if you have to add someone just so they have access to this site, then you can add it in any of these groups, keeping in mind what the business requirement is, what kind of access you want to provide them with. So if you have to provide them with read access, then you can add them under the visitors group. If you want them to have the owners access, then you can add them under the owners group. Just as a contributor, then you can add them under the members group. So these are the major functionalities. That's the landscape of a particular SharePoint site. There were a few technical terminologies which were used. So you'll come to know about them later, but it remains the same. Even if you, let's say, if you visit any other organization's SharePoint landscape, it's going to remain the same. More or less, there might be a few layout changes, but more or less it will remain the same. So that's it about this video. If there is anything else you think I missed, then please revert back in the comments below and make sure you subscribe and like this video. I'll see you soon in the next video. Thank you so much.